on Mondays, an explorative approach to the possessive my through narratives, art, and sound. I'm Matt Bunk. This week, Christy Claymore shares 2 poems and the opening of a novel in progress, recorded live at a reading at Ming. This is the 2nd episode of a 3-part miniseries on the theme green and growing. You don't need to listen in order, but if you like what you hear, you can go back to episode 217 for essays by Simon Shabbat. Here's Christy.
This is called Spring. Look at the silver lilt of those wild grasses. Look at the homecoming in green as the welcoming smile of a stranger who, when stepping closer, becomes the face of an old friend. This is in the time of the full worm moon. It was published in Writers in the Attic out of Cabin a few years ago. I wrote it right when Russia invaded or attacked Ukraine. I work the fine soil where weeds determined to win ground before tulips could bloom. Despite the gloom of early March threatening flurries and frosts, crocus already beamed yellow, and beneath some slightly plowed evergreen moss, there burrowed an earthworm, the first I'd seen of the season, and its wet was a kiss to my fingertip. Small wriggler humbly bringing forth life, humble, common enough, ugly, gracing mud puddles, compost bins, and small, curious fingers, reveling the rainy days. A March moon, given their name as their plain existence signifies the rebirth of the earth. Their work, mostly unseen, churns up green and every color otherwise. This is worth commemorating in the skies. The first full spring moon will rise, the full worm moon, not as sweetly named as April's pink flower moon. But, oh well, the earth and its worm also bring about pink, and it is good for us to think on these things. And as the worm brings about life, it does so by mingling with old autumn leaves, rot and done. It is good for us to think also on these things, more polite about its work than the fly. Not one bit of flesh, dust to dust, returns to earth without the worm. The skilled undertaker processes death to reincarnation. And with more news of death and the sight of trenches on TV screens, flashing live with ammunition, I can't help but to focus on the mud on knees, mud on boots. It's dirt that brings up trees, and it's dirt that steadies roots, but it is also dirt that takes in the youth who died fighting their elders' battles. The young face death most violently, as the untimely is more severe, severing potence from potential, motion from trajectory, a horizon fading too near to be enjoyed from afar, the dying of a star before its glow can reach the nearest planet. Have we grown softer than our grandparents, and will we be ready in spite of withholding or wanting to? Sorry, I didn't know this would get emotional. I might not have picked it. Have we grown softer than our grandparents, and will we be ready in spite of withholding or wanting to, our own children? Let's not sow that seed, growing from the traumas tattooed into our very DNA. Let no more irises burn with war smoke or disposition bend to this arc. We will beat swords into plowshares. We will cultivate rather than deploy, create rather than destroy. We will dignify ourselves with peace, such humanity elevating even the subtle alchemy of the earthworm. And this is at the beginning of the novel. I'm only going to read the introduction. It may be based on a true story, but if it actually makes it into the world, it's absolutely not true. The first little bit is not written by me, it's the epigraph, and it's from "O Brother, Where Art Thou?" The novel potentially would be called The Lost Journal. O Muse, sing in me and through me, tell the story of that wanderer harried for years on end. You will find a fortune, though it will not be the one you seek. But first, you must travel a long and difficult road. You shall see things wonderful to tell. Fear not the obstacles in your path, for fate has vouchsafed your reward. Yea, your hearts grow weary, still you shall follow them unto your salvation. Summer 2023. What follows is the account of my departure. Departure is not only leaving, it includes the time prior to leaving. Preparation is always a crucial part of the departure story. Sometimes preparation simply means hiding a packed bag in the back of the closet. Sometimes it involves opening a secret bank account. Sometimes it's waking in the wee hours to hear angels singing a song in a minor chord. It was a recessional hymn they sang, in words I didn't understand, but the sadness of the notes was recognizable enough, waking me in the blue hour of my 36th birthday. It was that very week I realized my only remaining option was to leave a situation that was destroying me. Preparation is not only pragmatic, but an exercise to ready the spirit and the mind, especially if departing means destroying your life as it exists. In recognizing the facades around me and the toxins invading my system, I knew I had to set out to find my skin, long left behind, and finally step into it. I needed to awaken my dormant brain and teach my heart bravery and something more of love. Regarding bravery and love, one cannot continue without the other. My life is being set ablaze, I said a couple of times in my journal entries written before my surroundings smolder. If I fully knew just how badly the fire would scorch me and those around me, I may not have had the guts to proceed. The journey has brought me to dead ends. The journey has made me face fierce enemies, the fiercest being my own self. The journey has broken my heart many times, and I have broken hearts in turn. But among the battles there have been victories, and those propel me forward onto a path so far has taught me that even though love has often been a ghost haunting me, it is real nonetheless, wandering the world to and fro, existing unlike anything most of us have encountered for a sustained amount of time. I've wandered, I've run, I've set myself adrift from husband, from family, from house and home, from faith and comfort and creed, and often from who I thought I was or would be. Many think I abandoned God himself. I don't want to know how many prayer chains I've been put on, but obviously that's impossible and it's ridiculous. I didn't lose God. The love I seek often sits beside me, which is a mystery I sometimes touch and sometimes waste myself trying to believe. I did not lose God. I found something bigger, something both in and beyond myself, beckoning me continually to surpass anything that feels too small, too ordinary, too unworthy for the adventure that life is. Odysseus wandered for 20 years. I've hoped to arrive sooner than that. As I began to tell this tale, I thought it might expedite my homecoming. I think, though, that the arrival may be no arrival at all, but something of an illusion. I suspect my home lies somewhere within the mystery, so I will start setting up shelter there and telling the story that lives to lay this foundation. It begins with an enchanter, a wanderer himself who, when I gave him bus fare in a grocery store parking lot, said a prayer for me. I suspect he is the spiritual aid at the forefront of this hero's journey. And that's the end of the introduction.
My on Mondays is brought to you by Ming Studios, a contemporary art space and international artist residency program in Boise, Idaho. For more information about Ming's programming, or if you'd like to participate in My on Mondays, you can visit our website at mingstudios.org. We'll be back next Monday.